state of fear. I got this out in Nebraska, and it says, if you can't read it, homosexual prostitution probe ensnares officials of Bush-Reagan White House, call boys given midnight tour of the White House. On the backside, it talks about children being taken off the streets of America. In addition to credit card fraud, the investigation is said to be focused on the illegal interstate prostitution, abduction, and use of minors for sexual perversion, extortions, larceny, and related illicit drug trafficking. Now, when I got this, there's no way I can tell it's the truth, okay? It could be a Xerox thing made up of different headlines, and they could have filled this whole thing in. But I called Paul Rodriguez in the Washington Times. This was run in 1989. And I said, was this the only story, and was this run on the front page the way it indicated? He says it was, and I wrote 60 stories altogether about this. And I'm asking you, if a major paper in Washington, D.C. is running headlines about children who are kidnapped off the streets of America, being prostituted even into the White House, don't you think that if the news media were disseminating information as they normally would, it would be picked up and run across the country? Now, I have actual records of a meeting of the Man-Boy Association in 1979. They had $620 in their bank account as of that time. By 1989, they were depositing $5 million in the Franklin Credit Union in Nebraska. What for? To pay for children kidnapped across the country, to pay for taking children out of Boys Town and out of Girls Town to be used for prostitution purposes and porn films. Now, John and Noreen Gosh are well-to-do people, well-together people, and Johnny was their son late in life. So they were able to put a great deal of resources and a great effort into putting information across the country about the kidnapping of Johnny. They said we had to sell candy and have fundraisers and so on to put out all those posters and everything that we put out across the United States. But in 1987, the word came down from on high, from people who were following the Goshes and following the Gosh family. And that was, you shut up right now and say no more about the North American Man-Boy Love Association.
At the time of his membership in LaVey's group, Aquino was an Army specialist in intelligence and psychological warfare. In 1973, he became the executive officer of the 306th Psychological Operations Battalion, contemporary with his founding of the Church of Set. General Michael Aquino wrote, "From PSYOP to Mind War, the Psychology of Victory." Aquino's thesis stated that enemy populations could be subdued by inflicting a state of psychological terror and feelings of imminent destruction. He discusses the use of psychotronic weapons or electromagnetic weapons that influence the mind.
web of intrigue that starts in our Holy of Holies, Boys Town, Nebraska, one of the most respected institutions in the United States, and spreads out like a spider web to Washington, D.C., right up to the steps of the nation's capital, the steps of the White House, involves some of the most respected and powerful and richest businessmen in this United States of America. And the centerpiece of the entire web is the use of children for sex and drug dealing and drug couriers, the compromising of politicians, the compromising of businessmen, but worst of all, the corruption of key institutions of government that have the duty and responsibility to make sure these things never happen.
Story we guarantee most of you have never heard before. Big money is being made from the sale of fetal body parts.
Even the most ardent pro-choice advocates, like Planned Parenthood President Gloria Feld, are disturbed by what we found.
It seems inappropriate, totally inappropriate. Where there is wrongdoing, it should be prosecuted and should be brought to justice.
A lot of people want attack parts these days. They're looking for specific notes. Maybe Destiny. I was like, wow, I didn't even know. Good for them. Yesterday was the first time she said people wanted lungs. And then, like I said, always as many attack livers as possible. People just want
livers.
People want lower extremities too. That's simple. I mean, that's easy. I don't know what they're doing with it. I guess they want muscle.
Yeah, a dime a dozen.
I'm the medical director for the national office for all of the affiliates. So I say, okay, what are you looking to supply today? We've been very good at getting cars, long liver. Every provider has had patients who want to donate their tissue, and they absolutely want to accommodate them. They just want to do it in a way that is not perceived as this clinic is selling tissue, this clinic is making money off of this.
Okay, so when you are or the affiliate is determining what that monetary, yes, so that it doesn't raise any question of this is what it's about, this is the mission. What price range would you?
You know, I'm going to throw a number out. I would say it's probably anywhere from $30 to $100, depending on the facility and what's involved.
The $30 to $100 price, that's per specimen that we're talking about, right? Yeah.
Yes.
The $30 to $100 price, that's per specimen that we're talking about, right? Yeah.
Yes.
How much of a difference can that actually make if you know what what's expected or what we need versus?
It makes a huge difference. I'd say a lot of people want liver, and for that reason, most providers put this piece under ultrasound guidance, so they'll know where they're putting their forceps. then a rate-limiting step of the procedure is calvarium. Calvarium, the head is basically the biggest part. Most of the other stuff can come out of the tap.
Right.
Very